There was yet another public transport strike on in Milan, the third I've experienced in my last 6 visits. And this on the day where I'd booked my splurge dinner at a new restaurant located about 7 kilometers from central Milan. None of the main metro lines were running, and only very few tram or bus routes, and those only occasionally. Taxis or Ubers were, of course, impossible to order. My phone navigation told me there would be a number 57 bus going to my destination in the Certosina from Lanza in about 40 minutes. Walking very fast, and I'm a very fast walker. I got to Lanza in just under that, and indeed, a 57 bus arrived about 20 minutes afterwards. 20 stops later, and after several phone calls telling the restaurant I was on my way, if very late, I arrived at my destination on Via Varesina, number 177, Ristorante Abba, housed in a converted former paintbrush factory. Arriving somewhat out of breath and 45 minutes behind my reservation time, I was shown to my table by the maitre d', who said many other guests had cancelled due to the strike. The calm atmosphere at Abba was therapeutically soothing after the hectic transport uncertainties, and a glass of spumante brut from the Terrazze dell'Etna from Randazzo to the north of the Sicilian volcano helped calm me even further. I was ready for the 10-taste menu I had quickly ordered. The first 2 tastes accompanied the spumante: a fried raviolo filled with smoked Sardinian ricotta, and a slice of guanciale from Apulia on top, and a scoop of caper and gin sorbet with lemon zest and a caper leaf, plus a salad of puntarelle, the southern Italian chicory variety, with an anchovied sauce. Oh yes, there was a mostarda made from quince on top. All right, I had already almost forgotten the transport strike. There was another bubbly, a Franciacorta Extra Brut Rosé, Alma Assemblage 2, from Bella Vista, made from 56% Pinot Nero and 44% Chardonnay. Very impressive. My mood was improving by the sip. Along with this came the most remarkable cube, eggplant, lacquered 4 times in the oven with fig vin cotto and teriyaki sauce. The green puddle next to it was derived from a pesto of mixed herbs. I didn't ask which herbs precisely. And on the top was a grating of goat's milk caciocavallo. Dense, rich, and simply sensational. Things continued with a roll of fried red mullet, served in a vertical tower with a dusting of timut pepper on top. On the side was almond-flavored mayonnaise, with a sprinkling of toasted almonds on top of that. If fried fish always tasted like this, I'd be an addict. 2 cubes of Apulian focaccia, with potatoes incorporated into the dough, were served next. On top, salt, oregano, and rosemary. A new wine was presented. From the Domaine Rat in the Jura in France, the biodynamically produced Chardonnay Arbois Grand Cru. This was to accompany the next dish from the sea, cuttlefish and Jerusalem artichoke. The latter formed the base and is invisible here. On top is the cuttlefish, in a reduction made from the cuttlefish head. Yellow and black color on the top came from lemon zest and powdered algae. I was given instructions to cut with a spoon first, then to eat with a knife and fork. Exquisite, and sorry about not showing what was inside when I cut into the tender cuttlefish. A friulano, a variety I especially like, from Music in San Floriano del Collio, about a kilometer from the Slovenian border, was poured to accompany the risotto. This risotto was made with one of my favorite Italian cheeses, Castelmagno from Piemonte, as well as bergamot and smoked corn. Those delightful crusty clumps on top were powder made from the oil of the smoked corn. A truly outstanding combination of flavors. An astonishingly tender slice of guinea fowl breast was next. just for the flavors. On the left was a dense chestnut sauce. On the right were streaks of quince and grapefruit sauces. I love guinea fowl, which we never see in Vienna. This was the juiciest preparation I've ever had, and the combination with chestnut, quince, and grapefruit went into my long memory. Joining this was a Tuscan red, Tempore, a Bordeaux mix, Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, from near Sartiano in southeast Tuscany. Made by a small producer, Olivier Le Bouquet, who used to sell his grapes to Antinori, only 1,700 bottles were made of this wine. A very worthy accompaniment to the guinea fowl. There was an added explanation to the sorbet which followed. Described on the menu solely as persimmon sorbet, it was made from a special Neapolitan variety. This kind of persimmon has a distinct note of vanilla in the fruit. Underneath the sorbet was a cinnamon-flavored crumble and a cream I forgot to ask about. From persimmon sorbet to a hazelnut soufflé, which requires no further words except to say it too was exquisite. Served simultaneously in a dramatically speckled bowl was a coffee gelato. Sprinkled over the gelato was coffee powder, and underneath it was a crumble flavored with star anise. This was one of the plates which were served by the chef himself, Fabio Battista. As you may have guessed, the restaurant's name stems from the first 4 letters of his family name. He himself stems from the province of Bari. It was time for the final plate, the last dessert, a sweet focaccia with saffron and citrus inside the focaccia. Just to the right was a bowl of zabaione gelato, decorated with dried flowers. A spectacular way to end a spectacular dinner. While I was still enjoying the last spoonfuls, the maitre d' suddenly appeared, looking a bit anxious, alongside the waitress who was holding my jacket. According to the maitre d's information, the last tram of the strike-reduced schedule was due at the intersection where the bus had dropped me in 10 minutes. I should try to make it, he added. I didn't fancy a 7-kilometer walk back to my hotel, so I quickly paid, donned my jacket, thanked the chef and his brigade in the kitchen, and rushed to the tram stop. The number 1 tram ended up not coming for 30 minutes, and tram 10, which I needed to connect to after 16 stops, wasn't running at all, so there were still 40 minutes to walk from that stop to the hotel. But even the transport strike couldn't diminish my enjoyment of a fabulous dinner at Ristorante Abba.